Hello, my name is Dr. Allison Justice, and I'm founder of the Cannabis Research Center and Coalition. So far, we've been operating under a membership model, and so everyone's funds go to help support research. But I want to change things. I've been wanting to do this for a while, and now is the time. Now the CRC is open source. Cultivators, home growers, anyone who wants to push the limits in plant science and really start to understand this plant, we're here for you. After being in the industry this long, it's very obvious that cannabis cultivation is just like any other agricultural crop, where there is punishment for being the carer of the plant. There's taxes, there's regulation changes, there's constantly problems that ultimately is just a race to the bottom. As margins shrink, we know it's not the cultivator that's able to pass that along to the customer. It's the retailers that make the same margin, it's the brokers that make the same margin, but it's the cultivators who have to cut their costs, who are making less per pound. And so as you're making less per pound, that means that education, training, pushing the limits of technical growing is where you need to be today. Farms, big or small, have to understand their cost per pound and have to understand how they can maximize the facility they're in and make wise choices. But at the end of the day, none of us would have a job without the cultivators, without someone there taking care of the plant, making it a safe, efficient crop that we want to give to customers, to patients. There would be no industry. There would be no science to be studied, as there wouldn't be an industry. There would be no product to be sold to the cultivators as a vendor, because there's no industry. These past couple of years, we've had phenomenal support from the industry, from cultivators to vendors, that has allowed us to create this, the PIP Research Center, and then a phase that we haven't disclosed yet. It's a different phase, 16 different indoor growing chambers, all climate controlled, ready to do research just on this plant. We're in such a special place and time in this industry, where on one hand, there are huge technological advances coming. AI, you've seen AI out there that's ready to scan your plants and tell you when to have a deficiency. But at the same time, we are so far behind in that you can't go out and get a loan. You can't go out, at least a traditional loan, you can't go out and talk to the extension agent and talk about the problems with your plants and expect that free governmental help. I, as a scientist, I cannot go out to the federal government and get grants, which are the way these research centers are funded. That is not possible. So all of this comes from you, comes from the industry to support, to push our technological advances in growing this crop and growing it at a fairer, safer, more efficient, more profitable way. We've had this support so far. You can see from this poster and on our website, all of the vendors that have so graciously donated to this cause. We thank you. So my request is for you, for vendors who are non-plant touching, who aren't exposed to those intricacies that make actual operation in your facility so difficult as those of growers, is that you are the ones who support, and I hope that you are the ones to continue to support this industry by investing in research for cannabis, because it is so few and far between in where and how and when we can do cannabis research. Now, by having this industry, this R&D backed by vendors, I want to make one thing very clear. We are brand agnostic. You'll see multiple LED companies that we're using. You'll see multiple fertilizers that we're using. And that's because lots of vendors are great. What my goal is to do is to be an unbiased resource where I lay out options for you. And then you make those options based on your facility, what you're trying to do, what you're trying to grow for, what your margin is. We lay out these options and then you make those decisions. So our vendors are not our grower counselors. Our vendors are just there as resources, as options for you to make the most educated decision based on your grow and your facility. So I hope this excites you as much as it does me, because we're about to release the gates and put out many years of monthly cafes on research. Put this information out and really start sharing. Take it to the next level where this really does come back to be a community of research and change. So thank you. Please follow me. Please share with cultivators and growers you know, home growers alike. We want everyone welcome. Please share, because we're about to put out a lot of information. Thank you.